Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another of my videos. My name is Leslie. For those of you who have been with me for a while, thank you for staying with me. For those who are new to my channel, welcome. For those of you that are new to my channel, I usually was posting videos about our boating life because we have a boat, and being on the boat during the weekends. But I wanted to expand my channel to other areas of my life and just talk to you guys about life in general. How can we help each other? Because sometimes we come to YouTube to seek answers to something, how to do X, Y, and Z. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about is how I let someone ruin my day last week. It was really bad. It was something that it shouldn't have happened, but I let it happen. And I usually, I said, I won't touch it because once I touch it, it's mine. But I touched it. I'm having other issues on my other areas of my life, and I think that was just the trigger, and I let that get to me, which I shouldn't have, but it just got to me, and it took me from like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning when it happened to about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I felt like my whole day was ruined because of that. And I just let that affect me that way. What happened was, we usually have protocols in our office on how to do certain things. So me, I usually go 150% on doing my job. And I'm old school. So I am not answering that phone call. And so I'm old school, and I'm just, doing my work to the best of my abilities. So we have protocols, but before I start telling you guys that, I'm gonna flip the camera around so you guys can see the different, colors of the trees that is happening right now with the foliage, and it's so beautiful up here. So let me turn you around so you can see, and it's a pretty afternoon with lots of sunshine. So anyway, we have protocols that my boss has put in place. So I asked this person, can you go do this? And he said, Leslie, he knows where it's at. And I'm like, yes, but it's protocol that we go with the customer, make sure that he takes the right piece. And he came back and he was like, Leslie, he knows where it's at. And I said, okay. I said, all right, that's fine. So that set the tone for my day of dealing with someone that did not want to go the extra mile and go the 100% of doing the job. And I took it very personal. Now, but like I said before, sometimes I let it go, and I don't touch it. I try not to let things get to me because I have enough on my plate. I have enough in my life that, is plenty. But how can we avoid feeling that way? How can we let that happen? And it does happen to all of us. We give away a little too much of our energy and power to someone else's behavior. So I wanted to talk with you guys about the why and how to stop it. So why do we let someone ruin our days? One of the reasons could be we have an emotional investment. We care about that person or about being respected. there could also be like old triggers. What they said or did may have just poked an old wound, like feeling unappreciated, rejected, overlooked, etc. At that point, I felt disrespected, because I felt like here I am doing my job 110%, and I just asked for something that was not out of the ordinary to ask, and it's part of our jobs, and this person didn't want to go the 110% or even 100%. He didn't want to go there, so I took that personally. Also, it's a focus shift. Instead of staying centered on my day, my goals, my peace, I allow their storms to take center of my stage. I allow their behavior to take control of my mental health, mental peace. So now, how am I going to prevent this from happening? Which is, this is something that we have to take practice. We have to practice every day. So one of the steps that I could do is just to pause before reacting. Take a deep breath. And I have to ask myself, is this about me or about them? And most of the time it's about them. Maybe this person came in, it was early in the day. Maybe this person came in and had a bad morning. And it's not like I think, I think, okay, if a driver, for example, when I'm driving to work, gives me the finger or, try to pass me on a no passing zone and just got my mind in that mindset, maybe that happened to him and that's why he came in with that confrontational attitude and, like don't care attitude and whatever. So it was not about me. That I know 100%. I have to also use a mental filter. I have to imagine like a shield around me. Their negativity hits it, and it just lights off. Doesn't matter, and it doesn't enter. Also, I have to decide where to place people like that. Not everybody deserve a front row access to my emotions. Some people belong in the balcony seats of my life, so they need to be like the bleachers. I have to also shift the spotlight back. I have to reclaim my day by doing something I enjoy immediately after the encounter. Listen to music, go for a walk, or just text somebody uplifting. And that's one thing that I usually do in the morning. I have a group of like maybe 15 women that I text every morning, good morning. Just, so they'll know that I'm alive, I guess. I have a friend also that, he's going through some health problems and he always texts me every day. So I asked him, I said, hey, Charles, why are you, every day? Thank you for the messages. And he goes, you know what? Because of my health problems, I have to let everybody else know that I'm alive today. And I thought, that is such a good thinking. So I also need to practice, reframing the story. Instead of they ruin my day, I can say, well, I had a challenging day, but I didn't let define it, didn't let it define my whole day. That language puts me back in control, and it puts you back in control. We also have to practice the not today rule. Sometimes, I say, not today, Satan, not today. When you feel the negativity coming, just remind yourself, not today. I choose peace. And it's a way of signaling to my brain to disengage. Today, I had another encounter, and this is with a person that, I know this person hates my guts. It doesn't matter what I say, what I do, this person hates. But I am my perky self. I'm always smiling, and doesn't matter what you say or do, I am going to have a smile on my face. I mean, that might make them more upset, but that's not my problem. My office manager said, you know what, Leslie? Don't let them change the way you are just because of who they are. And that was so true. So I continue being my happy self, smiling everywhere, even though there is a turmoil there and I feel the daggers. But however they take it, if my happiness irks them even more, that is not my problem. That I am not touching it. So the bottom line is that I didn't fail by being affected. I mean, I'm human after all. But each time that I practice noticing, pausing, and shifting back to myself, I'll get stronger at protecting my peace. And that is something that we can all practice, Though all these little things applies to all of us. I could have like mantras or affirmations that I could keep in mind so no one can take the day away from me. So here is a couple of examples that I thought about. I can say I control my energy and I choose peace today. Their storm is not my weather. That saying, it was like, oh my gosh, that is such a good analogy. Their storm is not my weather. That's a good one to keep in mind. I release what isn't mine to carry. Their unhappiness, their misery, whatever is going on in their life is not mine to carry it for them, to be part of it. It's not mine. But not today. I protect my joy. I can always say, you know what? I bend, but I am not going to break. I rise. I am not going to sink. So things like that. I just have to keep reminding those snippets to myself, especially with this coworker that hates my guts. I am respectful to them. I am nice to them. I say good morning to them, even though they don't say good morning back. I am just going to not touch what is not mine, because whatever they're going through is not mine to go through with them. Their weather, their storm is not my weather. I just have to keep telling myself that because, I mean, my life is changing. I'm getting older, and I guess my way of thinking is shifting. Because like the little stuff like that from that other coworker, that would have never, ever impacted me the way it did before, but it did. And it shouldn't have. So I'm just going to, try to be good to myself. Try to say, not today. Not today, Satan. And just carry on with my life, because let me tell you, I have a lot of stuff going on. And I am not going to let someone dictate how my day will go. So I hope you guys enjoy my little video today, my little rant about how not to let people ruin our days. If you have any questions, or suggestions, please comment and let me know how you deal with things like this. Because different people will deal different ways. Different situations will be different. So if you, just tell me how you would deal with something like that, let me know. Also, let me know what you would like me to talk about next. I'm going to do a video about, my background and a very shortened version of some aspects of my life. And I guess, I'll see you guys on my next video. Please, like I said, comment, subscribe. That helps my channel a little bit, and be good to one another. Be good to you, to yourself. Be good to one another. And as always, of course, Carpe Diem.